So I just need to start out this video with a horrible confession. I've barely ever watched Adventure Time. I probably watched a couple episodes because they were on, but I don't really remember all of them. So how is some guy who hasn't watched much Adventure Time gonna calculate the amount of years Princess Bubblegum, a character in Adventure Time, gets in jail? Well, I'm not gonna do it. All I'm doing is the calculating part. So when I asked what fictional character I should give jail time next, my old friend Jinchee told me to do Princess Bubblegum. I told her that I've never really watched Adventure Time, so she politely offered to help. So in no time at all, she started writing out all of the terrible things Princess Bubblegum has done, so I could start calculating the jail time. So the thing is that a lot of the bad things Princess Bubblegum has done aren't real crimes. There's no rule against brainwashing or something, because no one does that. The thing I like to do is base the amount of years the person gets in jail based off of the law of where they live. Adventure Time isn't a real universe, so there's no actual laws we can base Princess Bubblegum's jail time off of. So we're just gonna have to go with the immediate amount of years we can find while doing our research. So let's begin. 8S1. Not much happens to be of concern, but a couple things are sus and could be looked into. Episode 1. Slumber Party Panic performs experiments on the dead and releases a zombie plague. Episode 24. Tasks Finn and Jake with kidnapping Ice King and torturing him in the Candy Kingdom basement. It was to stop a sickness, but it was still bad. While this stuff is bad, I don't see any actual crimes being broken. Let's move on. Nothing happens in Season 2. But a few things happen in Season 3. Episode 57. Too Young. Creates Lemongrab, who ends up being a failed experiment, and she banishes him after he seems to be a threat to the kingdom. Honestly, I see this as parental abuse. Again, all of this is bad, but I can't find anything that counts as an official crime. Episode 65. From bad to worse starts another zombie plague, and this time nearly kills everyone. I believe this falls under attempted murder, but I actually did the math before, so I can't remember for sure how much that adds. So let's move on. Season 4. Episode 88. Goliad creates an immortal cat thing named Goliad with her DNA, leaves it in charge of the kingdom for a bit. Then it becomes a dictator and is only stopped by a second clone named Stormo, and they are stuck in a forever stalemate. Again, no crimes. Episode 98. Episode 98. You made me. It's revealed she has security cams in every room of the Candy Kingdom citizens, and that's how she finds Lemongrab spying on people because he has no one to rule. She sends 3 kids to go to Lemongrab's kingdom without supervision, and Lemongrab can't handle their behavior and tortures them as a solution. Then she just makes another Lemongrab to solve it and retrieves the 3 traumatized kids right after. This counts as child abuse. She now gets 6 years in that category. Episode 98. Burning low. She's just in Finn and Jake's house grabbing stuff from their treasure pile and claims she's collecting taxes despite the fact that they don't live on Candy Kingdom territory. All I could think of for whatever reason is tax fraud. It isn't even technically tax fraud, so she only gets 2 years for that. I'ma stop here for a bit because after this point law goes haywire and is hard to explain. Don't worry though, it gets much worse. Slightly smiling face. So what do we have so far? Not as much as you'd think. She gets around 15 years so far I guess. Season 5. Beats the crap out of Ice King to get the password to Wizard City, where only wizards are allowed, and helps to steal magic from a shop. Also she brought Finn and Jake along and they all get sent to jail, but then break out by knocking out everyone with the magic they stole. Mentioning this because breaking out of prison is a crime in some areas of the US. So now, she gets 5 years for prison break. Breaks a child out of jail from the Lemongrab Kingdom. Name is Lemonhope, but literally only because she thought he would blend with other candy citizens, and doesn't consider what he thinks about the Lemon Kingdom. It sucked but consent is important. She'll get half of the 5 years you get in jail for prison break, which is 2.5, because it wasn't actually her who did it, and it was only one child. It's still not good. Reveals that she's been spying on Flame Princess without her knowing, as she believes her emotions will threaten her kingdom, like invisible cameras and crud. Not really a crime. I mean, it could be considered stalking, but let's just let her slide on this one. Hijacks Tree Trunk's wedding despite not being allowed to do the ceremony, as another guy named King of Ahhhh, who was assigned to perform the ceremony. Out of spite she breaks into his locked blimp, tries to find an expired marriage license, and then shows it off to prove that he can't perform the marriage. He reveals that he has an updated one, and then she just arrests and jails everyone at the wedding because she doesn't want to be wrong. I don't think there are any crimes for this, but this would surely bring consequences. It's revealed that in the past she had dozens of sentient robot gumball machines, which were basically the police of the kingdom, but she found out they would fight each other in secret nightclubs to ease their violent urges. This hurt literally no one. So, she kills every single one of them except for one who escaped and went into hiding way outside the kingdom. Well, that's like years in jail. I'll just go over the rest of the crimes, and then I'll say how many years she gets in each category, because she committed some crimes more than once, or even worse things than what people who would normally commit the crime would do. Season 6. I don't understand 95% of what's going on in these crimes, but I'll work without. One thing we should keep in mind is that Princess Bubblegum is actually immortal, so she can't just get a lifetime in jail. Anyways, here are the results. 8 years for kidnapping, 6 years for child abuse, 2 years for tax fraud, 7.5 years for prison break, 25 years for murder, and 30 years added to that for being a butthole. So for that, she'd get 78 years. But taking all things into consideration, I came to the conclusion that she gets 91.5 years in jail at least. There'd probably be more years tacked onto that, because for someone who's immortal, that wouldn't be too long. Jinchee also recommended me a video by Carl Lucas about why Princess Bubblegum is just an all-around butthole. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll link it, because it probably does a way better job at discussing this than I do. I'm honestly just concerned that hardcore Adventure Time fans will click on this thinking it'll be good, but it really isn't. So I encourage anyone who's actually knowledgeable in this to do it, but this was just for fun in the end. But before I go, look at the date I'm posting this video on. Why this? Well, that's because the 23rd of October is a special day. It's Jinchee's birthday. Yeah. So I'm really good at remembering people's birthdays for whatever reason. So when I saw that I was writing the script not too far away from Jinchee's, I thought that I should just have this video posted on that day as a birthday present.